Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Cyberse Yugioh deck profile for post Chaos Impact. Wanted to do an update to the deck. I know I just recently did a Cyberse Decode Talker deck to focus on Decode Talker Extended, but I wanted to make a new deck profile that focuses more on the new Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid we received in the latest pack, Chaos Impact. It's a really awesome monster. It is our first Link 5 monster in the TCG, and the whole focus of the deck makes it so you have to get out a bunch of different extra deck monsters so you can benefit from having this card be at tip-top power on the field. You need Synchro, Ritual, Fusion, and Exceed, which we've all implemented into this deck for this profile, so definitely excited to show you all what this deck is made of. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off for the monsters, still working with the 3 microcoder. This card's just really good, giving you all the options for your search. If a Cyberse monster you control would be used as link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. And if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can either add 1 Signet Spell Trap from your deck to your hand, or if this card is on the field and used as material, you can add 1 level 4 Cyberse monster instead, and you can only use each effect of microcoder once per turn. But being able to add the Signet Spell Trap definitely does help us with our plays in this deck, giving us plenty of options to either get out Signet Mining, Signet Kodak, you name it. You have everything available to you with this card when you open it up for your plays. And the fact that you can use it from your hand is just another added bonus as well. And I'm also still running the 3 Balancer Lord. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points during your main phase. This turn, you can normal summon 1 Cyberse monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only use this effect once per turn, and if this card is banished, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Balancer Lord once per turn. So just more options to swarm your field with monsters with this card. So very useful. If you don't have the options for microcoder in your deck, as I meant to mention, you can take them out and run Ram Claudia, Rom Clouder, you name it. Those options just as a good support replacement if you don't have access to the microcoders, since I know they're a little more difficult to get since they came out with the latest video game Legacy of the Duelist. But definitely need 3 Balancer Lord. The card just makes a lot of your plays readily available, since another important one are obviously the Link 2s that set up our fusion plays. So you definitely need to at least be able to summon out a Link 2 monster so you can get those plays started as well. And also running still 3 of the Widget Kid. Probably going to keep this card in here. I know we're still waiting on a few other Code Talker cards in the OCG to come over to the TCG that help just with a little more consistency with our monsters. But Widget Kid, definitely helpful when it's normal or special summon. You can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand in defense position. You can only use this effect of Widget Kid once per turn. So you're able to get out Balancer Lord with Widget Kid, then use Balancer Lord's own effect to get out another monster. So you have the options for a Link 2, Link 3, you name it on the field. So Widget Kid's very useful just for those extended plays. And I also run the 3 Cyberse gadgets, definitely my important 3 ofs of the deck. The Cyberse gadget lets you, when it's normal summon, target 1 level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense, but its effects are negated. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 gadget token. So just giving you that token gives you options to special summon cards to the points where these monsters' arrows are positioned, just because you want to get those additional effects with these cards to special summon out, or search for the needed cards you need for your Exceed, Ritual, or Synchro options, obviously, or even for Fusion. So very important to have those openly available to you as well. And I also run the 2 Clock Wyvern, still run the 2 of this card just for the fact that you need it for your go-to fusion monster, which is Cyberse Clock Dragon, needing Clock Wyvern, and then 1 or more Link monsters, giving you that power. Clock Wyvern also gives you the token, which can help for the additional Link summon just by halving this card's attack. So definitely worth it, since obviously you're going to use Clock Wyvern for any of the resources to summon out your bigger monsters. And then for some of the other 2 ofs in the deck, I run 2 Backup Secretary. If you control a Cyberse monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Backup Secretary once per turn this way, but just another easy summon to get onto the field. If you just have a Cyberse on the field, having this in your hand definitely does come in handy for those additional special summon plays. And also, I am now running 2 Boot Staggered. This card really grew on me with the plays. When a Cyberse monster is normal summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Boot Staggered once per turn, and when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 1 Stag token onto the field. So that token option definitely does come in handy, but just the fact that Boot Staggered is very easy to special summon out to the field if you have plenty of normal summons available to you in the deck that you need to make use of for their plays. So just giving you that additional monster from your hand definitely does come in handy. And then for some of the one-ofs, I run the 1 Cyberse Synchron. Once per turn, you can target 1 level 4 or lower monster you control, increase its level by its original level, and if this card in the end of the turn, if your monster in the extra monster zone would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can use this effect of Cyberse Synchron once per turn. So just able to boost up, for obviously Cyberse Quantum Dragon is your main go-to play with Cyberse Synchron when you can summon this card out. Very, very useful with our Link 2 plays as well, so remember that. I just like to run the 1 though, since it is searchable in the deck, and we only have the 1 synchro option that I usually like to go for as well. And for some of the other one-ofs, I run the 1 Dotscaper, just another easy special summon onto the field with this card, so very, very useful. At 1 on the ban list, Lady Debug, the search, you can search out Backup Secretary and just have your special summon right then and there to go into, so this card definitely does come in handy. I run the 1 Sim Tabler. We have plenty of level 4s that we can recycle into the deck as well, so just having these options definitely do come in handy. And I also have the 1 Code Radiator. It's searchable with cards like Signet Codec when you summon out the Water Attribute Shooting Code Talker, and then just another easy monster to use for a link summon from your hand. And I also run the 1 Degrade Buster just for the fact that this card is a fire monster, means that you have the option to obviously search it when you use your Signet Codec to go into Power Code Talker, which I'm still a big fan of all the different Code Talkers in the deck that you can summon out as well, just for the easy plays for that. And lastly, for the one-ofs of the effect monsters, I run the 1 Link Infant Flyer, along with being the Wind Attribute for the search. It's just an easy special summon to an arrow on the field, which you can make full use of plenty of the Link 2 monsters that I've already gone over as well. And then to finish off the monsters, I run the 1 Cyberse Magician. I only really run the 1 because you only really need the 1 since it's searchable, with cards like Cyberse Witch, being able to add it and the ritual to your hand, also having any of the battle damage you take, and if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add 1 Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. So the search, along with this card's stats, definitely do come in handy when you can ritual summon it out, and also just need it as one of the required cards for your Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid onto the field as well. And that is it for the monsters. As always, we run a pretty high monster count, but definitely needed in the deck just because it's very useful to have the good amount of monsters to special summon out for the Cyberse deck. For the spells, I run 3 Signet Codec. Another very good card in the deck, the fact that it's not once per turn, it's just a once per chain. Whenever you summon a Code Talker, you get a search of a monster, so you can keep your link plays going with this card every time a code monster is special summoned from the extra deck. And also, just having this option available to you definitely does help to get more and more monster resources. If you don't have the codex to run, just like the microcoder, I'll show what spells you can take out or which ones you can add in for additional numbers to match up with this card in just a second. And I also have the 3 Signet Minings. Not only does this card set up your graveyard for your plays, but it also allows you to search out a good amount of the Cyberse monsters we run in the main deck whenever you need for the situation. You can set up ones in your graveyard like, Dotscaper, get that special summon off, and then search out whatever you need for your play. Very, very useful there. And I also run the 2 Signet Optimization. This card gives you the additional normal summon. If your Code Talker monster battles, your opponent cannot activate card effects at the end of damage step, and during your main phase, it gives you that immediately normal summon 1 Cyberse monster, but you cannot special summon from the extract for the rest of this turn except Cyberse monsters, which you're not really limited to at all in this deck with all the special summons we do. And then I also run the 1 Signet Ritual and the 1 Signet Fusion. The Fusion play and the Ritual plays, both the cards are searchable with the Link 2 monsters you can make. I never really like to draw them. I just always like having that option to search them out, which you can easily do in this deck. That's why I only run 1 of each, because that's really all you need for these cards, with Cyberse Clock being a big finisher, but also a setup card for your Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid, and then Signet Ritual being the same case. And lastly, for some of the one-ofs, I run the one-time passcode, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Monster Reborn, and 1 for 1. Each card just has great setup and then just easy special summons as well for monsters you run in your deck. If you don't have the options for Cynet mining in the deck, you could try taking them out and putting it in Cynet backdoor. It's not as consistent, but a little more affordable budget-wise for some players. And if you don't have the codex, you can try replacing them with an additional one-time passcode, mixing those numbers around, bumping up the numbers for Cynet optimization, and you can also try adding in Gold Sarcophagus for the Bouncer Lord Banish special summon plays. It's not one I'd recommend. I definitely would try to get the codex because they definitely do come in handy. Hopefully we do get a reprint soon for the card, but best option if you don't have any of those spells for the deck. But that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. Your main card in the deck is your Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. You need 3 or more effect monsters to make it. If this card is link summoned, you can place counters on this card equal to the number of Cyberse monsters in your graveyard with different monster card types: Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, and Exceed. It gains 2,500 attack for each of these counters on this card during the battle phase only. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card to negate the activation. And then if this was activated while this card attacked, it can make a second attack. This card's effect is insane. It can be a true boss powerhouse monster if you have all the different extra deck monsters in your graveyard along with the Ritual as well, hitting up to 13,000 alone and having plenty of negates to stop your opponent also. So definitely recommend grabbing one of these cards. It's going to definitely become one of the new boss monsters for the Cyberse deck. And then for the additional cards, I run the 1 Firewall Exceed Dragon, the 1 Cyberse Quantum Dragon, and the 1 Cyberse Clock Dragon. Just the options you need for making your Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid that much stronger. And it's very easy to obviously get these cards out on the field with all the different link monsters we run, with each one having different effects, just to help, whether it be for the link 4 plays, just taking care of your opponent's monsters, or hitting high numbers with its attack. And like I said before, with the Link 2 monsters to help these cards out, I run the 1 Clock Spartoy, the 1 Cyberse Wit Kid, and the 1 Cyberse Witch, Witch being able to search out the Ritual, spell, and monster, Wit Kid being able to set up your Synchro play, and Spartoy being able to set up and search Cynet Fusion, as well as giving you monsters on the field to special summon from your graveyard. So definitely recommend running these to help with those plays as well. And then for the additional support for the Cynet Codec, I run the 1 Transcode Talker, the 1 Power Code Talker, 1 Shooting Code Talker, 1 Encode Talker, 1 Xcode Talker, and then the 1 Code Talker and the 1 Decode Talker Extended. If you wanted to just stick to the Code Talker for the Dark Attribute for the search for Cynet Codec and you want to run Decode Talker Extended, you could try out Link Karibo just to have a Link 1 option with the one-time passcode and the microcoder plays that we can sometimes make. And just as one more boss monster, 1 Link Mail Archfiend, since we do run a good amount of the different types of monsters in the extra deck and on the main deck for the Ritual. It definitely does help just to have this option in case the Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid falls under with its summon. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely a fun deck for sure. We have the Cyberse Decode Talker deck, and then the one that focuses on the extra deck summons. Give both a try. I tried both. I really do enjoy both, but definitely this one seems like a lot of fun with all the different summonings you can do from the extra deck. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.